went so quiet. Are you ready?
Are you gonna be crying tonight? I'm surrounded by it. Got it in stereo tonight.
Lisa, you ready?
Thank you so much. Yeah, so you have my back.
All right. Ready, Tom?
Yes, I'm ready.
Welcome to the March 5th City of Oldsmar Council meeting. It is 7 PM. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Thank you all for joining us. Our first item on the agenda is our invocation and our pledge allegiance to the flag that will be led by our city attorney, Tom Trask. Please rise.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for enabling us to gather here for this meeting. May we have meaningful discussions. Help us to share things that will benefit all of us. Help us to deal with different challenges that we are facing as a team. Help us treat each other with respect and kindness and in a way that creates an environment of cooperation. In this we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Tom. All right, next item on our agenda is the Oldsmar Open Forum. Each speaker will be recognized once and will be limited to a 5-minute presentation on any subject. Please state your name and address for the record. The open forum will conclude at 7:30. Is there anybody on this side of the room that would like to speak to the council? We'll go to this side of the room. Come on up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dave McKinley. I'm your elected commander for VFW Post 12186 right here in the city of Oldsmar. Our formal meetings are at 7 p.m. on Thursday, the third Thursday of the month, and it's right down the street at the city library at 400 St. Petersburg Drive. Today, I want to give you a solid update on what's been going on with the joint venture between Oldsmar Cares and our VFW. Oldsmar Cares is our 501c3 here that provides food aid, pantry assistance, and other things, as well as the VFW, as we provide specific aid to veterans and our families right here within the city of Oldsmar. Our venture this year is coming up this Memorial Day, and that's going to be our Honor Our Heroes 5K. This is going to be the 9th iteration, and I'd like to publicly thank the city of Oldsmar for your support and allowing us to do that. We start right out here in front of the City Hall. We're going to continue to be wound down to Veterans Memorial Park, the beautiful waters of Upper Tampa Bay, and then we're going to come right back up here at the end of it. I'd also like to thank Tampa Bay Brewing Company, who's recently been recognized here by the city for their contributions into the city. They are going to come out and provide a lot of other assistance with trophies and recognition for our participants and other events that are going on throughout that afternoon. So make sure that you sign up. You can find it at vfwpost12186.org. You can go to Oldsmar Cares. There's a raised link directory that's right there. It goes through Run Sign Up Genius. If you haven't received an email from me yet, please let me know, and I will definitely make sure that you get it. Share it with your friends. Share it with anybody that's out there. There's other things that you can do beyond just participating, and that includes crawl, walk, run. We've had people that have come out with flags and wheelchairs. And so I think if they have the fortitude to get up and participate in our local community, to recognize those that have served our nation overseas and then continue to serve in our communities here, I'd absolutely expect you to be there as time permits. I know we all have different things that are going on in life, but I would truly appreciate your efforts here. And of course, it's going out across the Upper Tampa Bay region. It's been posted in local magazines. And I want to continue to show the rest of Tampa Bay, not just this area, how great the city of Oldsmar is and continues to support those in our community, our families, and the veterans that serve here. Any questions, sir?
No, great job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll see you at the 5K. Anybody else would like to speak to the council? Come on up.
Good evening, Council. My name is Major Ted Morris. I'm the Director of the Salvation Army for Clearwater and Upper Pinellas, which of course includes Oldsmar. And Mayor, I want to thank you for participating in the first annual mayoral Christmas Kettle Bell Ringing Challenge. There were 2 mayors in North County that did so, and Mayor Siraki is one of them. And so thank you for doing so, sir. And on behalf of the residents of Oldsmar who received the services of the Salvation Army in this area, thank you for helping with that. $425 was raised in your red bucket where you
All
served
right.
that day. And so I do
I was wondering
appreciate
how
it.
much was in there.
That's how much it was. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you. Very nice. All right, anybody else would like to speak to the council tonight? Come on up.
Amber Stevens, 318 Lafayette Boulevard. Good evening, council. So I just got back from the Art Task Force, and it's a really great committee. I'm glad to be on it. And I wanted to give you an update on our public art survey. So we had 74 responses. Ms. Byrne was really happy with it. I wasn't, because compared to the park survey, there was 274, so a little bit of a lag. I think there might be a multiple of reasons with a bunch of different surveys going out at once. So I think that might be overwhelming some of the citizens. So maybe if we can somehow get the departments to talk and stagger it, because it's like, hey, take this survey. Now you gotta do another one, another one. So that's one thing, and it's pretty thick. I don't know if you saw it.
Nice.
And so, yeah, just, I wanted to bring that to your attention, just maybe try to stagger it a little bit more, but also wanted to go over some of the highlights. So have you gone in the parks and seen the children's statues, the bronze ones? That was actually the preferred one. I was kind of surprised. Does anyone know where those are chosen from? How they got it? Don't answer. It's from a catalog, and I did not know that. So being on that committee, I found out about that. So I just want to bring that to the residents' attention, because they might not want to select it from a catalog. They might want an actual artist. So I just wanted to say that. And these were the top 4 reasons why we should invest in public art. Beautification, Public Works might want to hear that one. Inspire creativity, enhance community pride, and distinguish Oldsmar from other communities. So those were our 4 reasons. And residents really expressed that they want to see this type of art, functional art. Does anybody know what that is?
Art that
Kind where you
works.
can do something
Yes.
with it, you can interact with it somehow?
Like benches?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen, well, we do have one. It's the Oldsmar Organic Garden, that bench
Yeah.
right outside. It's
Yeah.
painted, so there's that one. Bike racks,
Yeah.
kind of designed like that.
You can-
Picnic shelters. So things like that, and fountains and water feature. That was the big buzzwords. And the style of public art people want to see is the street art and whimsical art. So you probably know what street art is. Whimsical art? Any ideas?
Fun and unexpected.
Creative, vibrant.
Creative, yeah.
Let's see. It's kind of like a children's novel, like those type of
Whimsy Land
pictures.
and Safety Harbor.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I was about to say that. You beat me to it. Do you know the address?
Yeah, it's my uncle's house.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
I got it.
So now I have to get a tour. So, okay. So now ask Andrew all about it.
I'll take you on a tour.
Yeah, excited to know this. Okay. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, and also thank you, Councilmember Grimes, for nominating me for the canvassing board. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the information, Amber.
Of course.
Thanks, Amber.
All right, anybody else like to speak to the council? Well, thank you all for coming up. I'm going to close the Oldsmar Open Forum. The next item on our agenda is the community minute, which will be read by our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Breakfast with the Bunny will be held on Saturday, March 9th. There are 2 sessions at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. It will be held at State Street Center, and it is $10 per person. Registration is required. Movie in the Park will be held Friday, March 15th, 7 p.m. at Ari Olds Park. There will be a vulnerability assessment workshop held on Thursday, March 21st, 6 p.m. at State Street Center. Storm and hurricane volunteers. So the city is accepting volunteer applications for 4 opportunities: be a social media ambassador, pledge to evacuate, learn to plan, assist with sandbags and/or debris removal. And last, take the annual satisfaction survey to share your insights on the quality of services provided by the city and the amenities that enrich your city. Survey closes March 31st, and it can be found on the city's website. And that's it.
Thank you very much. All right, I need a motion for approval of additional new agenda items, which are 4, 5, 12, 17, 19, and 21.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on our agenda is awards and recognition. I'm sorry, I don't see my award for the council manager award is here. I'm not sure what happened. She did confirm she was gonna come, but we're gonna move on to the next item, okay? Unless she shows up, we'll do it, okay? All right, next then is presentation of the quarter award for the fourth quarter of 2023, and that is Councilmember Katie Gann.
Well, thank you. I also am not sure that anyone from Shaker and Peel could make it tonight, and for good reason, though. Hear me out. So, for those of you who are not aware, Shaker and Peel, the local restaurant that's located in Woodlands Plaza, kind of catty corner across the plaza from the AMC Theater, or right across the street from Gull they were listed on the Yelp top 100 restaurants in the United States. Our Oldsmar restaurant, and Florida had 15 on the list. I'm sorry, 13 on the list. Only 3 were in Tampa Bay, and one of them was Shaker and Peel. So naturally, we have to recognize them. I mean, that's just statistically speaking, that's an incredible achievement. They have shared this across all of their social media. They've made additional videos. I know they've undertaken an additional social media campaign because of this award. So if I had to guess, they're probably very busy making tacos. So I wanted to say just a couple of words about them, and then perhaps schedule a time when I could go over there with the chamber members and get a photograph with them when it works best for them. Because, you know, in the evenings when it's dinner time, right about now, people need their tacos. So you might remember that in 2019, Shaker and Peel graced our presence with their craft cocktails, infused beverages. I'm not sure if you've ever had the salt air foam margarita. It's literally a margarita with a cloud, like a cloud of salty foam on top. It's like at least 3 to 4 inches high. I don't know how. I don't know, but it's delicious. They also have incredibly popular tacos. My favorite is the Flower Power, which contains no meat, ironically, and also has a pink tortilla. So, I mean, of course I love it. They also have, you know, seasonal tacos. You guys might remember the pig and chips, no longer on the menu, but one of my favorites. They have excellent chips, salsa, the churros for dessert. Fabulous restaurant. And so I just wanted to recognize them because, you know, we might not have a huge number of restaurants in our community. I would argue that we have a lot per capita given the number of people that we have here in Oldsmar, but we do have some pretty darn good ones, and Shaker and Peel is definitely one of them. So I look forward to meeting up with them. Hopefully their general manager, Tyler, can, you know, make some time in the next couple of weeks if they're not too busy. I did select them right after I heard the announcement that they were chosen, so maybe should have waited a couple of weeks for the hype to die down. But, you know, I hope it doesn't die down, and I hope they continue to be as successful as they have been already. So I will report back with a cool photo, hopefully.
Thank you. I believe they were number 80, correct, in the country? 80?
Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Next item on our agenda is the consent docket. This will be read by our city clerk, Kirsten Garcia.
Item 3, approve minutes of February 20th, 2024 council meeting. Item 4, approve reappointment of regular member Stephen Phillips to Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Item 5, approve appointment of Peggy Allison as a regular member to the Code Enforcement Board. Item 6, approval of amendment number 1 to DRMP Inc. Contract 2023-002 RFQ Engineering Consulting Services. Item 7, approve agreement with Pinellas County Sheriff's Office for Pinellas Safe Harbor for charitable donation allocation of $500 for fiscal year 2023-2024. Item 8, approve the purchase and installation of HVAC equipment for State Street Center from Trane per the pricing, terms, and conditions of Omnia US Communities Contract Number 3341. Item 9, approve work order number 2 for the design of the asbestos water main replacement project to Ardura USA Inc. for engineering services under the city's General Engineering Services Contract 2023-002 RFQ. Item 10, authorize city manager to advertise 2024-007 RFQ for professional services for construction engineering for St. Petersburg Drive Complete Streets and Roundabout Project. Item 11, authorize the advertisement of 2024-009 ITB cabinetry replacement at Fire Station 54.
Thank you very much. Does anybody wish to pull any item from the consent docket? All right, then I'm looking for a motion, please. I have a motion. How about a second?
Second?
I have a motion and a second in the discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Consent docket passes. Next item is the interview applicants for 2 code enforcement board alternate member vacancies. There are 2 alternate member positions available, alternate number 1 and alternate number 2. Open on the code enforcement board. The appointments are made by the council. So what we're gonna do is we have four applicants, and we only have 2 positions. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have each applicant come up and speak to the council, just a brief greeting and tell us about yourself. And then we'll see if the council has any questions. We'll go from there. We're gonna start out with Jessica. Come on up. Did I say it right? Jessica Villafana? Villafana. Okay, thank you. Come on up. Welcome, Jessica.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Board. Again, my name is Jessica Villafana. I have been a resident of Oldsmar since 2002. I want to say I really became active in city items probably about 2017 when I started going to the Women's Club of Oldsmar, and then in 2018 I became their treasurer. And 2018, I went to Citizens Academy, and that was truly an eye-opening experience for all the different things that the city does. I forget the exact year, but I want to say it was probably about 2021, after all the COVID stuff kind of finished up, that I was asked to be on the Citizens Ordinance Review Committee. And that was really an eye-opening experience. The city clerk had sent me all of the ordinances that were up for review, and I guess I'm a policy nerd. I'll call myself a policy nerd. I have a bachelor's degree in social work, and I've worked for Baycare Health System. I just had my 33rd anniversary. So I spend a great deal of my time interpreting policy and how policy impacts the person and what exceptions can be made for the person. How can we interpret policy? So with code enforcement, my interest is, yes, codes are important and code enforcement is important, but who is the person behind getting that notice to code enforcement? Is there something they need? Is there something they lack? Is it an interpretation of policy? How is it possible to assist that person? Is it possible to assist that person? I know as an alternate, I wouldn't be making any kind of votes, but certainly I would be interested in listening and learning. So that's
Great.
really all that I have to say.
Thank you for volunteering. Any
Thank you.
questions?
Okay?
All right, well, thank you. We
All right.
appreciate you
Thank you, sir.
volunteering and coming in tonight.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Thank you.
All right, the next applicant was Samuel Watson. I believe we all got an email from the city clerk. It's, so if you want to read that. Not attend. So the next person. Oh, yeah.
Would you like me to read the email into the record? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So Samuel Watson said, "My name is Sam Watson. I'm one of the candidates for the code enforcement alternate member spot due to my prior commitment of attending my son's away baseball game this evening. I cannot make the meeting tonight. I just recently received notice that the board appointment was up for consideration on this agenda today. Could you pass along to the council members that I am interested in the position, and if considered, will 100% attend every meeting? I love the city of Oldsmar and want to keep it a place where my kids want to live when they are adults."
Perfect, thank you very much. Stephen Phillips, you want to come on up?
Evening, council members. My name is Stephen Phillips. I've been a resident of Oldsmar since 1984. I live in Harbor Palm subdivision. I have also served on the, I serve on the Leisure Services Board right now. I am involved with the Oldsmar Rotary Club. I was president for 2 years. Right now, I just took a break and I'm just a director. I serve on 3 HOA boards, 3 condo association boards. I also attended the, can't think of a name off the top of my head, the Citizens Academy, Janice Miller's Citizens Academy. As of yesterday, I guess, I'm volunteering for the Historical Society here in Oldsmar. I've also served as a director for the Oldsmar Little League Board for 5 years when my son played baseball and my daughter played softball. I'm a past business owner. I founded Arizona Air Conditioning. That's been here in Oldsmar since 1997. My son now runs it. I also have a business with my son here in Oldsmar, Property Investment Group. I don't know. I think that's about it. I'm married. I have 2 kids. One lives in Palm Harbor. One lives in Odessa. And they were both raised here. My son was a year old when we moved here. My daughter was 2.5. So I love it here in Oldsmar. And I meant to stand up before, but just to bring it to fact, I'm on the Leisure Services Board, and I was out there doing the survey when we had it for the parks, having people come in and do the survey. And of all the people I met out there, I didn't hear one bad comment from anybody. And even my son, who is, he's my son, he's 41, but he's hard to get a good happy response out of, even when he goes on vacation. He's kind of, but he went up to the park with me here in Sheffield with his daughter, play basketball. And he said to me afterwards, he said, Dad, he said, that's a really nice park. And I was like floored that he made a compliment of something like that. But I did tell Skip, and I just want to say to the council members that Skip is doing a great job with the Leisure Services Board and the parks and everything else. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for anybody? No? All right, we're good. Thank you so much. And then last but not least, Donna Royer, come on up.
Hi, everyone. How are you? My name's Donna Royer, and I live on Shore Drive East, and we have been living here for about 22 years, and I certainly do not have a list of credentials as the other folks that have come tonight, but I do love Oldsmar, obviously. That's why I live here, and I'm married, and my husband and I have recently retired, so now I have more time that I could commit to being really active and a part of Oldsmar. And there's always a lot to do, and I'm a hard worker, and so I'm more than willing to I really try to work at most any task I'm asked to do. And so that's why I've come tonight. And I'm just making myself available, and I'm willing to listen and learn and work and cooperate with everyone and just make this a great place to live in Oldsmar.
Thank you for volunteering,
You're
and thank you
more
for
than
coming in
welcome.
tonight. Any questions? All right, thank you so much. So you want to explain how this will work?
So if council would like to use a ballot, I do have a ballot in front of you. You would just need to select 2 candidates and give it back to me, and then I would tally the vote. And you would be signing your name at the bottom of the ballot, and then the ballot would be attached to the minutes for the meeting.
Okay, so we're going to vote. And you want to come pick them up, or do you want us to just send them down to you?
Just pass them down.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
That's okay.
It's hard to vote. Everyone's
So
perfect.
wonderful to have folks come
know,
out.
I know,
and
it's
to
great.
meet
I wrote my
everyone.
notes.
Thank you all.
Secret cultivation.
Yeah, I'm fascinated. I'm not gonna look.
I love how you guys fold it, like it's not gonna be in the minutes of the next meeting, but it's fine.
Wait a second.
Passing a note in class.
I won't know.
All right.
Is there one more?
One more. Bring the mouse.
Vice Mayor needed a moment to
Check.
do some origami.
Check. I checked my equation sheet.
Whimsical origami.
Do the math? Okay. Understood.
So we have one of the two positions selected. So Jessica Villafana has the majority of votes. So we would just need to do one more ballot for a second round for a second candidate.
Okay.
Okay.
So did all three of the other candidates receive the same amount?
Yes, two candidates have 2 votes.
And the other candidate had,
One,
okay, so it'd be just be the other two then?
yes.
So it would be,
We have to
you just
select
need to tell
between
us which two
Okay.
had 2 votes. Then we're gonna go from there.
You can edit the ballots accordingly. Take your time. I'll pass them down when you're ready.
Just announce who are the 2
This
individuals.
is yours one. The 2 individuals would be Donna Royer and Samuel Watson.
So when you get your
That's yours.
ballots then,
That's yours. That's good.
you're gonna need to vote
That's
for,
right, it has my name on it.
you're gonna need to vote for one person out of the 2.
Select one.
That's you. Wait, who did you say were the 2 people?
Mayor.
Anna and Sam.
Samuel.
Anna and Samuel, got it.
And your name is on the bottom, so just,
There you go. Okay.
Member Graber.
Now check the bottom. You have your ballot.
Will it scan into the Scantron machine out back?
That's your name right there. This one's my name.
G. Graber
All right.
Grimes.
Can't get a tie now.
Here we go.
I'm just confirming. Samuel Watson received a majority of the votes.
Wonderful. So congratulations, Samuel Watson, who is not here. Congratulations, and Jessica Villafana. Congratulations, and welcome to the team. Thank you, sir. All right. Anything else? We're good? Let's move on to item 13, interview applicants for the Firefighters Pension Board of Trustees. And we have 2 applicants here tonight. We have Stephen Ham and Terrence Power. So Stephen, you want to come up first and talk to the council, introduce yourself? And again, thank you for volunteering.
You're welcome. Thank you, council members and charter officials this evening. A couple things. Background, 6-year Oldsmar resident. Professional background is in accounting, accounting degree, actually business administration degree with an accounting major. And for the purposes of, from an investment perspective, as far as the SEC is concerned, I'm a Section 144 investor, which means that you have experience with multiple different investment vehicles as well as a net worth that makes you an individual worthy to participate in these types of investment opportunities. I've been taking a look at the pension board minutes and I've looked at the financial statements, spent about 2.5 hours going over those. So I think I'm pretty well versed in at least an introduction to what's involved relative to serving on the board. In my professional career, I've also managed individuals, so very familiar with short-term disability, long-term disability, and how those interact in a private setting. I have not served on any other pension boards, so this will be a first for me. But looking at it, I certainly have a good understanding of what those disability requirements may look like with regard to its very physical activity being a firefighter, right? There's actually weight requirements, physical requirements that you have to achieve in order to be a firefighter, EMT, paramedics. So again, good general background from a financial perspective, and have taken a look at the minutes. Any questions?
Any questions?
Okay, great.
Thank you so much. All right. Terry, come on up. Welcome.
Good evening, folks. Terry Power, and I live over on Shady Oaks Drive. Been living in North Pinellas County for 40 years, believe it or not. Yankee by birth, Southerner by the grace of God, and I've been in Oldsmar for the past 7 years. I've been in the retirement plan industry since 1981. I own my own firm, third-party administration firm, the Platinum 401k, which is based in Safety Harbor. We oversee about $700 million worth of qualified plan assets. I actually serve as a trustee and the named fiduciary on over 40 retirement plans in 46 states. We're heavily involved in the 401k industry. We don't work, my background originally was as a stockbroker back in the 80s, moved down here into Tampa in 1985, and have been involved in the community for quite some time, big supporter of Oldsmar Cares, and love the area we live in, and love our first responders. So this is a nice way to kind of use my background in the business and also get involved with some of our folks here that really can use their support.
All right, thank
Any
you so
questions?
much.
Great. Thank
Any
you.
questions? All right, so this will be a 2-year term, which will expire on March 5th, 2026, and there's no other applicants, so I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Do we need a motion?
We have one appointment, right?
No, it's two.
No, there's two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Brian resigned and then I had to resign.
Okay.
So there's 2 positions
All right.
currently.
Okay, so I have a motion, over a second.
Second?
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Astounded by the level of qualifications of folks we have in our city.
I know, it's
I'm
great.
so grateful. And it's
Yeah.
wonderful to hear about people's background and experience. I hope everybody continues to be involved. Look for a vacancy, just send in an application and we'll find a vacancy for you. Like, it's amazing. It really is. I mean, you hear the qualifications of these people and I'm just floored. I'm so grateful that you'll be serving on our boards. Thank you.
I agree. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. And don't forget, Donna, thank you for coming out tonight. We do appreciate what, you getting involved in the city, and don't give up. You'll be on a board one day. Don't worry. All right. All right, item 14, Tom Trask, City Attorney.
Mayor Commissioners, council members, this is a public hearing for second reading of ordinance 2024-02. I'll read that ordinance by title only. Ordinance 2024-02, an ordinance of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, replacing the name of Leisure Services Department with the name of the Parks and Recreation Department, and replacing the words Leisure Services with Parks and Recreation. In sections 3.11.1, 11.2.2.1, 26-121, 26-126, 26-129, 26-130, 42-31, 42-35, 42-44, 42-66, 42-117, and 42-123 of the city's Code of Ordinances, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date. That was the second final reading of ordinance 2024-02 by title only.
All right, thinking this is a public hearing, I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against this item? Oh, come on up.
I would just like to say I do support the name change. 6 months after I moved here, I did want to be on that board. I may or may not have finished watching the television series, so it was kind of hard to.
We all saw it too, before we ran. Yeah.
So I had to read through all the different boards to figure out which one it was, and it was Leisure Services. So just to reiterate what the director said, it does kind of align with the values better having Parks and Rec. So just wanted to say I support. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, Amber.
Anyone else like to speak? All right, with that, I'm going to close the public hearing. I need a motion to approve.
Moved?
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Graber,
Yes.
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Saraki.
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-02 is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
All right, item number 15 is the public hearing for the second reading of ordinance 2024-03. I'll read that by title only. Ordinance 2024-03, an ordinance of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, amending Article 2, Art in Public Places of Chapter 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Oldsmar and Section 14-33 to delete the requirement for reporting any building permit for construction or reconstruction of a commercial structure to the city's Public Arts Committee, deleting Section 14-36 relating to appeals and hearings, renumbering Section 14-37 relating to ownership and maintenance to Section 14-36, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date of this ordinance. That was the second final reading of ordinance 2024-03 by title only.
This is a public hearing, so I'm going to open up the public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this item? All right, with that, I'll close the public hearing. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All right. Any other discussion on this item? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Graber,
Yes.
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Knapp,
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon,
Yes.
Mayor Saraki.
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-03 is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
All right, item number 16 is adopt resolution 2024-12, appointing members of the canvassing board for the March 19, 2024 municipal election. As you know, section 6.06 of the city charter provides that the city council to appoint yourselves as members or qualified electors as needed to serve on the canvassing board for municipal elections. Since we have 2 members that are running opposed, the slate of people that will be filling the position are set forth in the resolution. Those members of the canvassing board will be Daniel Saraki, Mayor, Katie Gannon, council member, Sandy Grimes, council member, Amber Stevens, qualified elector, Sean Swager, qualified elector. I'll go ahead and read that resolution by title only. Resolution 2024-12, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar pursuant to Section 6.06 of the City Charter, appointing the members of the canvassing board for the March 19, 2024 municipal election and providing for an effective date hereof. That was the reading of Resolution 2024-12 by title only.
Thank you. I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Moved.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item?
Thank you to Ms. Stevens and Mr.
Sean.
Swager for
Yep, for
volunteering their
Yep.
time to be with us that evening.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
All right.
You have to come anyway.
Oh, and thank you, Sandy.
And thanks, Sandy.
And Dan, and Katie. Thank you.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Too much fun, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tom, for all that. Item 17 will be City Manager Felicia Donnelly.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I start item number 17, it's important to note that last meeting, there was action by the council to add a resolution to support the Advantage Pinellas Housing Action Plan and added to the tentative agenda. It remains on the tentative agenda for next meeting and is not on this current agenda. So item number 17 is to approve the statewide mutual aid agreement with the State of Florida Division of Emergency Management. So the City Council last approved this statewide mutual aid agreement in August of 2018. The state's requesting that all parties review and approve the attached updated agreement. The agreement will provide the city the ability to request assistance from any other participating party, including the Florida Division of Emergency Management, for a major disaster or catastrophic disaster as defined in Florida statutes 252.34. It also provides a method of reimbursement for expenses for assistance provided by the city to any other participating party. FDEM also requests documentation that outlines all departments represented by the city as a measure to provide the state assistance to assure that all city departments are included in the agreement. This will assist in timely reimbursement to the city for any mutual aid services provided at the request of the state during an emergency. This document doesn't alter the agreement and provides additional support for reimbursement to the city. The agreement's been reviewed by the city attorney and the staff recommends approval.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve.
Second?
A motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item?
Chris, as we get closer to the season.
Yeah.
And thank you for city staff for preparing in a complete and total prep session as if a hurricane happened recently. It's just, cross your fingers, right? We'll be ready if it happens, but.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 18.
Item number 18 is approved federal appropriations legislative request for the Lafayette Sewer Lining and Manhole Rehabilitation Project. This item is to formally approve the submission of a community project federal appropriations funding request in the amount of $800,000 to Representative Anna Paulina Luna's office. The Lafayette Sewer Lining and Manhole Rehabilitation Project is a comprehensive initiative aimed at enhancing the efficiency and longevity of the collection system infrastructure. The project primarily focuses on rehabbing the main artery leading into the wastewater facility and lining critical manholes located along that line. The age, material, and evidence of deterioration of these key components poses risks to the overall functionality of the collection system and regulatory compliance. Through strategic rehabilitation and lining, the project aims to mitigate these risks, extend the lifespan of the infrastructure, and ensure the continued safe and effective collection of wastewater for treatment. The work will include identification and assessment of the current condition of the main sewer artery and manholes, comprehensive cleaning and removal of all debris and blockages, structural repairs, and rehabilitation to address cracks, leaks, and corrosion, installation of durable lining materials to enhance structural integrity and prevent future deterioration, and implementation of bypass pumping to maintain wastewater treatment operations during the rehab process. Staff recommends approval.
All right, thank you. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? So I just wanted to share, I shared this with Felicia today. When I was in DC last year with the PSTA, I met with Luna, Paulina Luna, and I called Felicia and said, we had their grants are coming up. So we missed it last year, but this year we're in it and we're gonna get it. We were just a little bit late. Didn't miss it, but we didn't miss it, but we were just a little late. Anyways, so I have approval, I have a motion, the second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 19.
Item 19, before I start, Mayor, right, we came with an agenda item after I had submitted the application for
Right.
ratification.
Yes.
So thank you for the heads up. It helped us prepare for this year. So item number 19 is approved grant agreement 23 PLN 122 updates AI with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for the Oldsmar Vulnerability Assessment. Oldsmar received a Resilient Florida grant for $60,000 to update the city's climate resiliency plan with a vulnerability assessment to meet the current statutes. It's section 380.093. Council approved the grant agreement June of 2023. The state has since updated their standard agreement language and has requested the agreement to be amended. That's attached. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you very much. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion on this item? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 20.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 20 is to authorize the city manager to execute agreement B-22-CP-FL-0244 and to obtain signature authority for documentation regarding this agreement. On December 5th, 2023, council authorized the city manager to execute grant agreement B-22-CP-FL-0244 with the Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Oldsmar State Street Drainage Ditch Improvement Project. In compliance with the city's charter, the document was signed by the city mayors. The forms identified in the attachments of the document must also be signed by an author with signature authority for the city. HUD requires all the signatures throughout the document be signed by the same person. Therefore, it's requested to authorize the city manager to sign the document as well as any of the required contractual attachments, documentation, and exhibits. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion from.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any other discussion on this item? Thank you for taking this over. I appreciate it. All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on our agenda, thank you very much. Next item is our city clerk, Kristen Garcia. Do you have anything for us?
I do not have any items.
All right, then we're gonna go right to item 21, and discussion of the council budget for travel, lodging, meals. This is something that I wanted to bring up. Unfortunately, I'm not doing anything different as far as travel goes, and I believe I have, what, $200 left, correct?
Yes.
And I'm not doing anything different. I'm still doing the same thing with the Florida League of Cities. I'm not going to any extra events or anything like that. And I am out of money, and I need the council to approve or talk about a budget revision, an amount of about $800 for the conference in August in Orlando, because I don't have any money left for that. Does anybody wish to comment on anything? All right, about 800, we talked about that. Go ahead, Councilmember Gannon.
Thank you. Mayor, I appreciate you putting this on the agenda. This issue previously came up before the annual conference, I think last summer, when you ran out of funds last fiscal year to attend the Florida League of Cities Conference, I think. And we essentially agreed to split the difference, right? Like $500 your way, $500 on behalf of the council, I think, to make it work. And it kind of came up again when we were allocating amounts to the various charitable organizations, and the other members of the council donated essentially their travel budgets to provide as much assistance as we could to these nonprofit entities. Not that it had anything to do with this particular discussion, but just the issue of travel budgets came up again. So I feel like it's been, you've been kind of on notice of this issue. I think that the issue, 6 months into the fiscal year, being already out of money, I understand that you're not doing anything different, but perhaps that's the problem. Not doing anything different is repeatedly causing this issue. I don't know if it's an escalation in the costs of lodging and travel. I know that our registration for events is funded out of education and training, which has $4,000 in it, and there's still $3,100, $3,166 remaining. So this is purely travel and lodging. And for example, I saw you went to Tallahassee for the legislative action days, and instead of driving, did you fly? Is that why?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're flying to Tallahassee, you know.
It's actually the same amount for flight as it would have been for driving, mileage.
Okay. The,
The
you know,
hotel, the only increase was the hotels
the
have gone
hotel.
up.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have a lobbyist in Tallahassee that we pay $60,000 a year to advocate, and he's got a pretty good track record. You know, and I know you like to attend these various events. I don't necessarily, you know, I've made my peace with the Florida League of Cities, and I understand that they provide an educational benefit, but as far as a tangible benefit to the city of Oldsmar, the only tangible benefit that I necessarily see coming back to us is through the Florida League's Municipal Insurance Trust, on which Councilmember Graber serves as chair, but doesn't seek any reimbursement for travel or lodging to any of those meetings. Now, I understand it's within his financial prerogative, but certainly, you know, within 6 months, spending $2,000, I think, you know, I have to do what Mayor Beaverland instead, which is stand by the courage of your convictions. And the last time this came up, I stated that I would not vote in favor of increasing any travel budget again, and I intend to stand by that statement. I know that you might not be doing anything different or attending other things, but I think you need to do something different, or pick and choose which things to go to or attend. For the Florida League of Cities annual conference this summer, you know, I know we would like to send one voting delegate, and perhaps when that agenda item comes up to select a voting delegate, we can make some kind of arrangement or have some kind of discussion at that point, but that's where I stand on this particular item.
Vice Mayor, you have any comments?
Sure, just a little bit, kind of circling back to the prior meeting, our budget meeting, from where we, sharpened our pencils and pared down expenses in our council budget at the benefit of the charitable organizations. We pared it down a lot, and kind of also at the detriment, and it was a sort of a similar meet in the middle type thing of, they had requests that far outnumbered what we really could budget for that without dipping into contingencies. We still wound up doing that, albeit a lot lower amount than what it was initially. So I just have a lot of hesitation of continuing to dip into contingencies. I know that during that session, any of us, although many of us foregone our travel allocation or budget, we could have had the opportunity to plan and set it appropriately at that time. I think at the end of that meeting was when I had expressed that for future fiscal years, that we have some sort of workshop in advance of the general workshop to kind of lay out and say, well, I anticipate of needing to go to these types of things that are registration or learning tuition related versus any travel expenses that I might anticipate occurring there. Granted, obviously, we didn't have that workshop in advance of more or less setting the budget in motion and ultimately adopting it. So that's where my hesitation is we already dipped into the contingency sum, and I'd rather save those contingency funds for matters that could be of much more significant importance to the city compared to training and or travel as it relates to this. So that's kind of where I'm at on
All right.
things.
Thank you. Councilor Graver, any comments?
Yeah, absolutely. The last time we had this discussion, I was adamantly against it, and I was the only one who voted no. It's not the amount of money. We're tasked with handling a $50 million budget, and for 2 years in a row, you've said I can't handle a $2,000 budget. And it's driving me crazy, Mayor. And so I can't honestly sit here and say, he's only asking for an extra $800, but what you're saying is, I didn't plan out what I was going to do ahead of time. So now I need more money, and I need the taxpayers to pay that additional money. I don't think that's a positive statement to make. When I forewent, then Councilmember Buckman forewent, Vice Mayor Knapp and Councilmember Gannon, we all said we won't take the $1,000. So there was an additional $4,000, but the reason we said that was because we were trying to look for more money to give to charitable organizations. So we were allowed to do that. The only person who said no to that was you. You said, no, I still need the $2,000.
That's correct.
Right. And so 6 months in, it's almost gone. You only have $200 left, but it's becoming a broken record. We did it last year. I was the only one who voted no. Everyone else said it was okay. Vice Mayor Knapp said, well, I'll only take the allotted money at the time was $1,000, and anything over the $1,000 you were going to pay out of your own pocket, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
That's how that worked. And then we said, we don't even want the $1,000, so we could add the $4,000 back. So then what we would be doing by voting yes again is making this a broken record and setting a precedent for this council and for future councils to say, well, yeah, we budgeted it, and we're asking the entire city staff to budget everything, and we're telling everybody that we can handle a $50 million budget, but man, 6 months in, I'm usually out, and so all I need to do is ask for more money.
Yep.
So what I would recommend and what I'm going to do is make a motion right now to say there will be no more increases this fiscal year for travel and lodging for the council.
Second.
Councilman Grimes, you have any comments?
At this
All right. Well, I wasn't expecting the cost of inflation and stuff like that, but that's fine. I won't be going anywhere. I don't have a problem with that. I won't be representing the city. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Thank you for your feedback, and I appreciate it very much.
Mayor, there's a motion on the
There's
floor.
a motion and a second.
Was there a second to the motion?
Yes.
I seconded the motion.
Councilmember Gannon,
I call the question.
All right. So, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Yes. Me.
Okay.
All right. Next item on our agenda is council comments, and we're going to start out with Vice Mayor Andrew Knapp.
Mayor, just a couple of things. I had it in my notes just because I didn't know where the prior agenda item may have gone. But just would like to reiterate that, and discussed it with the city manager as well on our one-on-one of wanting to be more proactive in a planning approach for budgeting as it relates to the council budget. So it's my recommendation that at some point in the future, we can get that into the planning process for us to consider, because I think there's merit there to making things a little bit smoother. So I think beyond that, I would just like to say that this will be my last meeting as currently serving as the vice mayor, and it's been an honor to be serving in that appointed role for this past year. We have 2 more weeks until the citizens speak and decide how the makeup of our council looks. In 3 weeks' time, I will be here, win or lose, hopefully being sworn in, but if not, being here to hand over the reins to Valerie. I've been very thankful to serving with all of you in the many years or months of service over time, as well as all the staff. Just very appreciative for having this opportunity and hope to be doing it for 3 more years. And if not, then we will move on. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I have Councilmember Sandy Grimes next.
Just want to say it was a fun experience on Saturday attending the opening festivities for Oldsmar Little League.
Absolutely.
It was really, wonderful to see all the teams and, do their parade and all their names being called, and our mayor throwing out the first baseball pitch, and Councilmember Gannon doing a fabulous job with the softball. So it was just a really nice, enjoyable event. So great turnout from everyone.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Graber.
Also, 2 more weeks, and I know the next meeting that will be held will be my son's 6th birthday, if everyone can believe that. He was 2 when I got up here, I think, or maybe was turning 3, I'm not sure. But he hasn't broken anything today from what I've been told. Didn't get a star in the notebook at school, but that'll happen. All comes in good time. But it's been a different sort of election process, but just having the honor and privilege of being up here with all of you, the relationships that we've made, whether we've agreed on everything or disagreed. But the relationships that I have with, as we were joking around, City Attorney Trask and City Manager Donnelly and City Clerk Garcia. But having Sandy come on board with us after we had to deal with Councilmember Buckman's decision to resign, understanding what's moving forward with the Form 6 and all of those different things that are in front of us. It's been a trying last 3 years, but definitely a rewarding last 3 years. And the relationships that I have with staff, I can tell Chief Schwabe is paying very much attention to me right now. I'm looking right at you. But just the friendships that I've made and seeing, even with when the applicants came up today, I've spoken to all of you, gotten to know you well. And I know when Steve Hamm was trying to fill the role, the question that I had was, have you served on any boards? Well, lo and behold, here I go. Here's an application. I want to serve on the boards. And that's what part of it is trying to get everybody interacting with everybody else, trying to move everything forward, not just for the benefit necessarily if we have young families, but just understanding the community as a whole. It's been a very, again, rewarding experience. Thank you all so much. Please remember to vote on March 19th, and that's all I had. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Katie Gannon.
All right, buckle up. So I attended the School Transportation Safety Committee meeting last week for Forward Pinellas. And there's some conflicting and interesting developments. So first, let me tell you this part. The Forward Pinellas, the STSC staff, they were concerned, especially recently, following a very tragic event, about the safety of our bus stops, right? There are certain bus stops for certain schools that are located on US 19. There are bus stops that are located on very dark roads. There's bus stops on 3-lane roads. Some bus stops have, 30 kids getting on at one stop. And so they, in an effort to determine and to allocate funds, really, where the most dangerous stops are and to remedy that situation, perhaps with flashing beacons or solar-powered lights, something to add some visibility to that stop. They essentially created a short list of the bus stops, and this is, this is a big deal. There are 22,000 students in Pinellas County that ride the bus. 22,000, that's a lot of kids. And so 67% of those students are actually going to high schools that school starts between 7:30 and 8 a.m. So I was sad and surprised to see that on the short list of the 41 stops, now that's out of hundreds of stops, 3 of the 41 were for East Lake High School. And they're not necessarily located in the city of Oldsmar. And I will also tell you that they are located on Tampa Road, over which our city has extremely limited jurisdiction, if any. But it was a little bit shocking and saddening to see. So that being said, there are efforts to identify, and those, by the way, those stops were identified using crash data on that road near the intersection within 100 feet, the number of lanes, the pickup time, and the number of students who are at that bus stop. And so, it's important that we continue to make things safe, even if it's only temporarily. And so they're going to take that list of the 41 stops and identify the most vulnerable stops and kind of shortlist it even more. However, you may recall last year, Governor DeSantis signed a new bill into law, House Bill 733, which gives all the districts across the state to figure out their transportation problems and make sure that no students waiting in the dark. Because according to the new rule, middle schools cannot start their instructional day before 8 a.m. and high schools cannot start their instructional day before 8:30 a.m. So that will impact all 17 of Pinellas's traditional high schools. And that doesn't necessarily include, private schools, charter schools, and stuff like that. That will affect all 17 of Pinellas's traditional high schools. And so what that means is currently the county runs on a 3-tier system. There's like 3 shifts. You get the middle school students, then you get the high school students, you get the elementary school students. It's staggered based on start times. That way we have enough buses and enough drivers to collect all of the students and deliver them in a timely manner. Well, that's why some of them are waiting in the dark. But if we have to figure out a way to get everybody to school at about the same time, you can see how that poses a big logistical problem. And, we have a better number of drivers. They recently, the school board recently voted last year to increase the pay for bus drivers, which alleviated substantially a lot of the shortages that we're having in having bus drivers. Because if you recall, there were students who were getting to school, partway through the morning. There were kids getting home from school, late into the evening because drivers had to do multiple routes. The shortage of bus drivers was awful last year. I've heard from many people in Oldsmar about East Lake High School, especially doubling up routes, doubling up the number of students on board. So by 26-27, year 26-27, we're going to have to figure that out as a county and as a state. I'm not quite sure how to do it. There's also potential impacts to, how does this affect working parents? How do I get my elementary school student or my middle school student to their bus stop at the time when they're going to be picked up so they're not waiting there for an hour so that I don't have to then get to work? So it's going to be an interesting continuing discussion. I don't know if there's going to be any changes to the legislation or how the county is going to accommodate this challenge. But I look forward to it because, after the bill was signed, we were lauded by various pediatric associations because, kids are dealing with sleep deprivation, getting up at 5 a.m. to get to the bus stop by, 6:30 because they get to school at 7 a.m. if you're in middle school. So it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. And, you want students to be safe, awake, productive, home on time, but we are dealing with, financial and logistical constraints that are sort of incomprehensible when you try to take 3 things and make it into one. So stay tuned. The next meeting will be in June, and we'll hear more about the 41-stop shortlist and how they continue to shortlist it down further. I will say that those 3 stops to Eastlake High School did not have the highest incidence of crash data within the 100 feet, but we were definitely on the list, so just FYI.
So the plans have to be implemented by 2025 to go into effect by 2026, is that correct? Do you know?
So it has to be implemented by the 26-27 school year. So
Right.
that would be by August of 2026.
And
They would have to have figured out something.
And the
in theory.
pediatric data was that elementary school kids are up anyway, so you can send them to school earlier.
My kids are up in time to go to
Yeah,
school at 6
yeah,
a.m.
well,
I would love to send them. If you're starting a charter school, let me know.
And that's as you get older, as you become like, a sophomore, junior, senior in high school, it's just like, why do I have to be here at 6? When you can start learning at 9. And
Right.
so that's where that difference came in. But it's gonna be interesting to try to figure out how
I
to
don't
keep
know.
everybody, the sun shining on folks when the sun's not shining.
And of course, we have daylight savings time, which we all voted to eliminate, but we can't seem to get that past federal approval. But, it's dark at certain times of the year and it's not, it's going to be an interesting headache. Sometimes
sure.
we like policy decisions, but then the reality of how it's implemented is the problem of the staff. Sorry, Felicia. We will try not to make ridiculous policy decisions that affect you in that way. That's all I have, Mayor.
Oh, okay, thank you. I just have one thing. I just want to thank Vice Mayor Knapp for your service for that last year. I appreciate it very much. You were outstanding.
Thank you.
All right.
Didn't
that's
have
all
to
I-
jump in too much.
Yeah, just a couple times. All right, that's all I have. And then item 23, approved tentative agenda for March 26, 2024 council meeting. Does anyone wish to pull or add anything to the agenda? All right, I need a motion to approve.
Motion
Do
to
you want,
approve?
well, sorry, do you want to add your award
Yeah.
into the next one? The one for,
Sure. I don't know. She didn't text back either. I don't know what happened.
Probably
She
still
did
wanna
say she was
present it, right?
coming, right?
Yes.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to add that.
Table it or postpone it to this next?
Let's make it to the next meeting.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the tentative agenda with the addition of postponing the agenda item number 1 to the March 26, 2024 meeting.
Thank you. I need a second. I have a motion and a second.
Second.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all for coming out. Meeting adjourned.